Hello guys, this is Sarang, and as most of you know, I run a startup called as Inovact, which I started 3 years ago. In this video, I want to share three of my most important learnings with you. To give you a context about myself, I come from a non-business background. I'm a first generation entrepreneur, and when I started Inovact, I had no clue about building a business, hiring a team, creating an app, talking to customers, etc. I took almost 1 year to figure out all these things and learned it the hard way. The learnings that I'm going to share with you are a result of 3 years of my entrepreneurial experience. My first learning is focus on solving a problem. Often, entrepreneurs mistake between a problem and an idea. I'll give you an example. I will write on a piece of paper with a pen is an idea. How can I write on a piece of paper is a problem. Solutions for a problem can be multiple, but you will be confining yourself to a single solution if you focus on an idea. In our example, you have multiple solutions to how can I write on a piece of paper. The answers could be it can be with a pen, pencil, marker, etc. But with an idea, you're confined to a single solution of writing a piece of paper with a pen, writing on a piece of paper with a pen. Let's take another example. Imagine there is a laundry-based startup in Mumbai. They have an app. Somebody comes to your place, picks up your clothes, washes, irons it, and returns to you after 2 days. Now, what is Mumbai famous for? Apart from vada pav, dhobis, right? Now, in a city full of dhobis and house help, will such a laundry startup work? Plus, the cost of washing through the startup will be high, and it is going to take 2 days extra. Whereas a dhobi will give it to you next day, or the house help will wash it inside your house. Now, coming back to our topic, solving a problem is important. A problem can also be synonymous to demand. In this case, it's up to the laundry startup founder to decide whether there was a demand for such an app or laundry was a household problem in Mumbai. To conclude this particular learning, focusing on solving an evident problem is more important than working on an idea. You might you might have heard of this. Wherever there is demand, supply is going to follow. But where there is no demand, even if you have supply, doesn't make sense, right? So this is the first learning that first, and I would say one of my major and important learnings, which is focusing on solving a problem rather than working on an idea. My second learning is finding the right team. All of us have to understand that there's only a limited things that one can do as a founder, as an entrepreneur, or as an individual. When you're building projects or ideas, you will eventually need a team to work with you to take that particular project or an idea to the next level. This point also has a personal story attached. Although I hold an engineering degree, uh, I'm a non-tech founder who is building a tech product, right? So that's my case. The only reason Inovact, which is the startup I'm running, Inovact is still able to survive is my team. I don't know what I would have done if it was not for my team. It's really hard to build a startup, and on top of it, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, right? Whenever I feel low, I just look at my team working, right? They are working on my brainchild. How privileged should I feel to see that somebody else is working on an idea that sometime erupted here in my mind? This is what keeps me going, right? The point I want to make here is that I have learned that finding the right team who is equally passionate as you is very critical in building a startup. And a bonus point to you. There is one major point that I look while hiring, which is I ask the candidates, have you gone through the problem which Innovact is trying to solve? Now, why do I ask this? If they say yes, I understand that they are going to be personally attached to the problem we are trying to solve. they're going to be self-motivated, and their efforts will not only be for the compensation or stipend or salary that they're going to get at the end of the month. They will have something personal which they think, yes, I have faced a problem like this. I am putting my efforts in solving a problem which a lot of other people are solving, and hence they don't need any external push to be motivated. They're self-motivated because they're personally attached to the problem. Now, again, what I want to say here is when you're building a startup, it is very lonely. And as a founder, as an entrepreneur, you have multiple things to take care of. And most of the times, you're not a specialist in all of the domains, right? You might be a generalist. You might know few things in different domains. But if you have to take your product or your project or an idea to the next level, you need to bring in people who are specialists in different domains, right? So ultimately, the point here I'm trying to make is you have to find the right team at the right time. And timing is also very, very important, guys. Moving on to my third and last learning, perseverance. All of us know that the success rate of startups is just 20%. It takes an extraordinary mindset to acknowledge this fact and still build something. Oftentimes, this journey is also very lonely. Kunal Shah, who's the founder of Cred, says something very similar to this. Entrepreneurship is like hitting a wall. You know it's not going to break, but you still come back tomorrow and hit it hard, right? So to conclude this, most of the times you're so close to success that you don't realize it and you quit it before you even succeed. This is where perseverance and the never give up attitude comes into the picture. Personally speaking, for me, I've had thoughts of quitting Inovact multiple times, right? When my friends got placed for a good package at a good company, when my co-founder left, unfortunately, and when things don't go as I plan. There are multiple situations like this where I felt like quitting, right? But the only thing that keeps me going is the why, right? I ask myself, why did I start this? Am I solving a problem? And then I go through all the positive feedbacks that we have got for Innovact. As an entrepreneur, you have to come to terms with this lonely and difficult journey, right? Things will take time and you have to work for it. Always remember that Rolls-Royce is not built in a day. On the other hand, I also realize that I need to have a deadline in my mind, right? I cannot take my privileges for granted. As an entrepreneur, it is important to build a strong mindset, a never give up attitude, execute quickly, and set deadlines. So these are briefly three of my many learnings in my entrepreneurial journey so far. The first thing to wrap up this video, the first thing is you have to focus on working on the right problem instead of working on an idea, because I've also told you how solutions can be multiple for problems and only confined for ideas. Second thing is finding the right team at the right time. As a founder or an entrepreneur or an individual, there are only few things that you can do, and you're only a specialist or a generalist in a few domains. You will require people to come together who are equally passionate as you to take your project or idea to the next level. So finding the right team is very important. Then that is something that I've realized. The last thing is perseverance and the never give up attitude. Uh, I just go through this Instagram reels and I often look at uh, look at a reel which says, Toyotas can be built in a day or two, but Rolls-Royce cannot be built in a day, right? Always keep in mind as an entrepreneur, it is the never give up attitude that sets you apart from others. It is always hitting the wall harder, coming back every day, hitting the wall harder, even though you know the wall is not going to break tomorrow. So we have to develop such kind of a strong mindset in order to move through this journey of entrepreneurship. And these are some things that I have realized, and I have also seen these things having an impact in other entrepreneurs' life. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. So I will be coming out with more such videos. If you think that you have learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and aspiring entrepreneurs. See you in my next video. Until then,